The chair you're sitting on right now doesn't actually exist. Not in the way you think it does. It's not made of solid matter. It's made of information. And I'm not speaking metaphorically. I'm speaking literally. According to some of the most rigorous physics of the 21st century, matter is derivative. Information is fundamental. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that changes everything about what you think is real. If you want more deep dives into the nature of reality that actually use real science, not pseudoscience, hit subscribe. I release these every week. Now let's go deeper. There's a question that physicists have been quietly grappling with for decades, and most people have no idea it even exists. The question is this: what is the universe actually made of at the most fundamental level? For most of human history, the answer seemed obvious. Matter, physical stuff, atoms, particles, things you can touch, measure, weigh. But over the last 50 years, something deeply strange has emerged from quantum physics, information theory, and computational science. The evidence is starting to suggest that matter isn't fundamental at all, that everything we call physical, solid, real, is actually an emergent property of something far more abstract. Information. Not information about things, information as the thing itself. And here's why this matters to you specifically. You spend your entire life assuming that the world around you is made of solid, independent, physical objects. That assumption structures how you perceive everything: your body, your environment, your sense of what's real and what's not. But if physicists are right, if reality is actually informational at its base, then the solidity you experience is a kind of interface, a rendering. And understanding this doesn't just change your intellectual model of reality, it changes the entire framework through which you interpret your own existence. Over the next 25 minutes, we're going to explore two scientific frameworks that are forcing physicists to reconsider the nature of reality itself. First, we'll look at the integrated information theory of consciousness and what it reveals about the relationship between information and existence. Then, we'll examine John Wheeler's radical proposal that the universe is fundamentally informational, not material, and how the holographic principle supports this. Finally, we'll explore what it actually means to live in a reality where information is more real than matter. And I'm warning you now, once you see this, you can't unsee it. The world will never look quite as solid again. Let's start with consciousness, because that's where the cracks in the materialist worldview first become visible. For a long time, neuroscience operated under a simple assumption. Consciousness is what the brain does. Neural activity produces subjective experience, the way a car engine produces motion. But there's a problem, a profound, unsolvable problem. No one has ever been able to explain how physical processes, neurons firing electrochemical signals, produce subjective experience. The feeling of what it's like to see red, to taste coffee, to feel existential dread on a Sunday evening. This is called the hard problem of consciousness, and it's not just a gap in knowledge. It's a conceptual impossibility within a purely materialist framework. That's where Giulio Tononi, a neuroscientist and psychiatrist, comes in. In the early 2000s, Tononi developed something called integrated information theory, and it flips the entire script. Instead of trying to explain how matter produces consciousness, integrated information theory proposes that consciousness is information. Specifically, it's integrated information. Information that is unified, irreducible, and differentiated. And here's the key insight. The theory suggests that any system that integrates information in this way is conscious to some degree. Not just brains, any system. A thermostat integrates a tiny amount of information and therefore has a minuscule amount of consciousness. A brain integrates a vast amount of information and therefore has rich, complex consciousness. This isn't panpsychism in the mystical sense. It's a rigorous mathematical framework. Tononi quantifies consciousness using a measure called phi, which calculates the amount of integrated information in a system. And what emerges from this framework is something radical. Consciousness isn't produced by matter. Consciousness is what integrated information feels like from the inside, which means information isn't just data about the world. Information is the fabric of subjective experience itself. Now, you might be thinking, okay, That's interesting for consciousness, but what about the physical world? What about rocks, tables, planets? That's where things get even stranger. In the 1980s, a physicist named John Archibald Wheeler, one of the giants of 20th century physics, proposed something that sounded insane at the time. He called it from bit. The idea is this: every physical thing, every it, every particle, every object, every field, derives its existence from information, from bits of binary yes or no answers to questions. Wheeler wasn't speaking poetically. He was describing a literal ontology. He believed that the universe isn't fundamentally made of particles or fields or energy. It's made of information, and matter is what happens when that information is structured in certain ways. At first, this seemed like philosophical speculation. But then, something happened. The holographic principle emerged from the study of black holes, and it provided stunning support for Wheeler's idea. Here's the background. When physicists studied black holes, they discovered something bizarre. The maximum amount of information that can be contained in any region of space isn't proportional to the volume of that region. It's proportional to the surface area of the boundary around it. Imagine a sphere. You'd think the amount of information inside depends on how much space is inside the sphere. But no, it depends on the size of the sphere's surface. This is called the holographic principle, and it was first formulated by physicists Gerard 't Hooft and Leonard Susskind in the 1990s. What this means is that our three-dimensional reality might be a projection of information encoded on a two-dimensional surface, like a hologram. The actual fundamental reality is the information on the boundary, and the three-dimensional world we experience is derived from that. Now here's where this connects to Wheeler's it from bit. If the holographic principle is true, and the evidence from black hole thermodynamics and string theory strongly suggests it is, then the universe isn't made of matter that happens to contain information. The universe is made of information that happens to look like matter when you're inside it. And this isn't fringe science. Leonard Susskind, one of the founding fathers of string theory, has said explicitly that the holographic principle is one of the most important discoveries in theoretical physics of the last 50 years. It suggests that space itself is emergent, that three-dimensional space is not fundamental, but is constructed from something more basic, from information encoded on a lower dimensional surface. So now we have two independent lines of evidence converging. Integrated information theory suggests that consciousness is information structured in a particular way. The holographic principle suggests that physical reality is information structured in a particular way. And if both are true, then the implication is unavoidable. Information isn't something that describes reality. Information is reality. Matter is the interface. Information is the source code. Quick note: if you're new here and this kind of deep exploration into reality resonates with you, make sure you're subscribed. I do this every week. And if you're noticing you understand this intellectually but want help applying it in practice, I created something specific for that gap. It's called the manifestation path. Link in the description. I'll leave it there for you later. Now back to what this actually means for how you experience reality. What we're discovering through physics is something that certain philosophical traditions have been saying for millennia, but now we're finding it through mathematics and experiment, not through mysticism. Take the Yogacara school of Buddhism, which emerged in India around the 4th century. The central claim of Yogacara is mind only. Not that matter doesn't exist, but that what we call matter is a mental construction, a representation generated by consciousness. Or consider George Berkeley, the 18th century philosopher who argued that to be is to be perceived, that objects don't exist independently of the consciousness observing them. For centuries, materialist science dismissed these ideas as spiritual nonsense. But now, quantum mechanics shows us that observation genuinely affects what particles do. Information theory shows us that the universe has computational properties. The holographic principle shows us that three-dimensional space might be a projection. And suddenly, the mind-only school doesn't sound mystical, it sounds prophetic. But here's where we need to be careful. This doesn't mean you can think $1 million into existence. It doesn't mean the physical world disappears if you close your eyes. What it means is more subtle and more profound. It means that the solidity you experience, the sense that the world is made of hard, independent stuff, is a rendering. Your brain is generating a model of reality based on informational input, and that model feels physical because that's how your nervous system represents information. Think about it like this. When you use a computer, you see icons, windows, folders, but the computer isn't actually made of icons. It's made of electrical signals processing binary information. The icons are an interface that makes the information usable to you. Your perception of physical reality works the same way. The solidity, the color, the texture, these are the interface. The underlying reality is informational structure. And once you see this, your entire relationship with the world shifts. You stop taking appearances at face value. You start recognizing that what you're experiencing is a constructed representation, not raw, unmediated reality. Let's do a brief experiential investigation. Right now, notice the sensation of your body sitting or standing. Notice the feeling of weight, pressure, solidity. Where exactly is that sensation? Don't intellectualize this. Just observe directly. Is the sensation in your body, or is it in your awareness of your body? Can you find a boundary between the sensation and the awareness of it? When you look closely, what you find is that you never actually experience your body directly. You experience sensations that your brain interprets as a body. The felt sense of physicality is a representation in consciousness. It's information being processed and rendered as the feeling of solidity. This isn't denying that your body exists. It's recognizing that what you call your body is an informational structure that consciousness is rendering as a physical sensation. And if that's true for your body, it's true for everything else you perceive as physical. The chair, the wall, the planet, all of it is informational structure rendered as the appearance of solidity. Now, let's go deeper. If reality is fundamentally informational, then what does that mean for causation? In a materialist worldview, causation is simple. One physical thing bumps into another physical thing and effects happen. Billiard balls. But in an informational universe, causation works differently. Information doesn't bump into other information. It processes, integrates, transforms. Causation becomes computational. The universe isn't a collection of objects moving through space. It's a vast computational process, integrating and transforming information at every scale. And here's the part that shifts everything. If the universe is computational, then you are a localized process within that computation. Your thoughts, emotions, decisions, these aren't separate from the universe's informational processing. They are that processing happening locally through the structure you call your body and brain, which means when you make a decision, you're not a separate agent acting on an external world. You're the universe making a decision through this particular informational structure. This isn't fatalism. You still choose. But the chooser isn't separate from the process. The chooser is the process, locally instantiated. So let's bring this together. We started with the hard problem of consciousness and saw that integrated information theory proposes consciousness is what integrated information feels like from the inside. Then we looked at John Wheeler's It from Bit and the holographic principle, which suggests that physical reality is a projection of information encoded on a lower dimensional boundary. And now we arrive at the heart of this. If both are true, if consciousness is integrated information and physical reality is projected information, then the universe isn't made of two different substances, mind and matter. It's made of one substance, information, experienced in two different ways. From the outside, looking at a brain or a star or a particle, you see informational structure behaving according to physical laws. From the inside, being that informational structure, you experience consciousness, sensation, subjectivity. This is the information theoretic ontology that's quietly taking over cutting-edge physics and philosophy of mind. Reality is a computational process. Matter is how that process looks from the outside. Consciousness is how that process feels from the inside. And here's the implication that changes everything. If reality is fundamentally informational, then the laws of physics aren't constraints imposed on matter. They're the syntax of the computational process, the rules that govern how information integrates and transforms. And just like you can write different programs using the same computational substrate, reality can express itself in different configurations depending on how information is structured. This is why quantum mechanics is so weird. It's not that particles are sometimes waves and sometimes particles. It's that what we call a particle is a localized informational structure, and depending on how we interact with it, depending on what information we extract, it behaves differently. Observation doesn't just reveal properties. It participates in the configuration of information that we then interpret as physical properties. And if you're thinking this sounds like science fiction, it's not. This is where physics is heading. Max Tegmark, a cosmologist at MIT, has proposed the mathematical universe hypothesis, which argues that reality is literally a mathematical structure, and what we experience as physical existence is that structure being computed. It's not that the universe is described by mathematics. The universe is mathematics, instantiated as information, experienced as consciousness and matter. So what does this mean for you, specifically living in a body, navigating what feels like a solid physical world? It means that the sense of separation you feel, the sense that you are a small, isolated self inside a vast, indifferent universe, is a perceptual artifact. It's how the informational process represents itself to itself when it's localized in the structure you call your body. But the truth is more intimate. You aren't in the universe. You are a temporary localization of the universe's informational processing. The boundary between you and the world isn't ontological, it's representational. And when you recognize this, not just intellectually, but experientially, the feeling of separation dissolves. Not because you merge with everything in some mystical sense, but because you see that there was never a hard boundary in the first place. Just information processing itself, experiencing itself, through countless localized perspectives. There's a brutal difference between intellectually understanding that you collapse reality and actually living as someone who knows this. Most people watch videos like this, feel the insight, and 3 days later, they're back to the same mental and emotional pattern as always. Why? Because knowledge without embodiment changes nothing. That's exactly the gap that led me to create the manifestation path. It's not a course. It's a structured process of identity reprogramming through 3 progressive workbooks and 28 days of guided daily practice. You'll identify and dismantle the autopilot, map who you are versus who you're becoming, and practice every day until the new identity is no longer effort, but naturalness. Neuroscience plus consciousness plus coherent action. It's not temporary motivation, it's structural change. Link in the description if you want the next insight to actually change how you exist. Here are 2 practices you can start immediately. First practice, informational awareness. Several times today, when you interact with something physical, a cup, a door, your phone, pause and ask yourself, what is the informational structure here? What data is being processed? What representation is being generated? You're training your brain to see through the interface of physicality to the informational substrate beneath. Second practice, boundary investigation. Throughout your day, notice the sensation of where you end and the world begins. Notice your skin, the edge of your body, the sense of inside and outside. Then ask, where exactly is this boundary? Is it a hard line, or is it a gradient? Can you find where you stop and the world starts? This practice begins to dissolve the perceptual artifact of separation. Now here's what you need to understand. Reality being informational doesn't make it less real. It makes it more malleable, more participatory, more responsive to how information is structured and integrated. You're not a passive observer in a mechanical universe. You're an active node in a computational process. And the way you process information, the attention you give, the patterns you reinforce, these shape how reality configures itself through you. The universe isn't solid and fixed. It's fluid and computational. And you are that computation, happening now, aware of itself, choosing how to structure the next moment. If this fundamentally shifted how you see what's real, leave a like and drop a comment when you look closely at your experience right now. Can you find the hard boundary between you and the world? Or does it dissolve when you investigate? Let me know what you discover.